For this week's philosophy appetizer, I want to share with you an experience that I had in 1986. This is a story, Teacher in Space. This is Sharon Christa McAuliffe, born in 1948, from Concord, New Hampshire. She was a social studies teacher, mother of two, at Concord, New Hampshire High School. In 1985, she was selected from more than 11,000 applicants to participate in the NASA Teacher in Space project. She was scheduled to become the first school teacher in space. As a member of the mission, she would be conducting experiments and actually teaching 2 lessons from the Space Shuttle Challenger. It was a very important time for us because as part of this team, she was one of us, a humble school teacher from New Hampshire going out to space and teaching a class to her students from outer space. The day was January 28th, 1986, and all of the US, at least in New England, were looking forward to watching the Space Challenger mission. And let me tell you what happened on my side.
At that time, I lived in the city of Lexington, Massachusetts, but I was doing postdoctoral research at Tufts Medical School, which was in the downtown Boston area. So every morning I had to commute using the subway system, which in Boston is called the T. And on that particular morning, I had an incident. As we were approaching the area past Harvard University, the trains stopped at the next station, and we were told that there was an accident way ahead on the bridge over the Charles River. And so they had closed the subway for that morning, and we had to exit, go up to the street, and we were going to be bused back to our destinations. Uh, well, the buses didn't really go to downtown Boston. The buses went all the way to the area near Harvard Medical School, which is on the other side of the city, from where we had to take another subway to be able to get back into the city. So, long story short, I got there like an hour late. We had a lot of stuff to do that day, so of course I was kind of upset. And then some of my coworkers came in and they were upset also. And we were all kind of sharing our different complaints and kind of like sharing things and our criticisms of the transportation system when suddenly in through the door walked our lab technician with tears down from her eyes.
Just 73 seconds into its flight at an altitude of 48,000 feet, the shuttle broke apart, resulting in the deaths of all 7 crew members, of course, including our dear Christa McAuliffe. It shook the nation. Many school children were viewing the launch because it gave us so much hope. And yet, on that day, what was I doing? I was complaining, I was angry, I was upset about a minor disruption in my daily routine. I mean, that day, I would get over that and go home and see my wife and my children and have dinner with them. Krista's family would never see her again. And those lovely school children would never get to see that class from outer space, from our teacher in space. And what stands out is, of course, as being in the teaching profession, I really connect with something she said in one of her interviews about her profession. She said, I touch the future. I teach. This is what Christa McAuliffe's legacy was. And so it made me think, many times when we go through life, we got to think about this.
Yes, the story and the memories of that day do make me kind of emotional. But here's the lesson that I learned. Sometimes we go through adversity and difficult times in life, and we make a really big deal out of it, not thinking that perhaps the obstacle we're facing, the adversity we're going through, is really not that big. Maybe we make some things bigger than they really are. I don't deny the reality of problems and adversity and awful circumstances. I don't. But at the same time, I realize that many times when I look at incidents and circumstances in my life, I need to have a sober perspective of them. You know, I might be making a big deal out of something that ultimately is not. Maybe it's a minor disruption in my otherwise comfortable routine. But like I said, on that day, my discomfort, my complaints about getting late to work paled in comparison to the suffering that the McAuliffe family was going through. And so because of that, I'd like to encourage you to always take a double perspective, let's say, of any situation you're going through, and really evaluate whether it's worth the trouble, the worry, the stress that perhaps you're investing into it. All right. Okay, that's our philosophy appetizer for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you are enjoying these stories that I share with you from time to time. Take care, and thank you so much. We'll see you soon.